A founder posts his best month ever. Screenshot, confetti emoji, the whole thing, record revenue. And then we ask him one question. How many days was your hero in stock? And then, of course, he's going to come up with a long pause. So we pull it up, and his bestseller had just been out of stock 19 days that month. 19. His record month happened while the store's engine switched off for about 2/3 of it. So I asked the question nobody had asked him. If that's the record, what was the month you didn't have? And he'd been celebrating the revenue he made. He had no idea how much he'd actually lost. And that's today. So welcome back. This is metric number 4, stockout rate and its evil twin, stockout cost. And it's not just tracking it, you're flying blind. So here's the formula, and here's what good looks like at your stage. And here's what happens when this number goes red. So 2 numbers today, and they work as a pair. Number 1 would be stockout rate, the simplest version for each SKU and what percentage of days was it unavailable to buy. Days out of stock divided by days in the period. Hero was out 19 days out of 30, and that's 63% a stockout rate on your most important product in your best month. Track it per SKU. A blended stockout rate across your catalog is as useless as blended turns was last month. Being out of a slow mover barely matters. Being out of your hero is definitely a house fire. So number 2, this is the one that nobody actually calculates. Stockout cost. And what did those empty days cost you? Rough formula is your average daily units for that one SKU from the weeks before it went dark times by days out times your contribution margin per unit. So sell 40 a day out of 19 days and $30 of margin each. And that's your 22 grand gone from one SKU in 1 month. And here's why this metric is special. And honestly, why it's the heart of this whole season. Every other number we cover, some report somewhere will show you this one. And yeah, this one is definitely something that not a lot of people would really show you. Shopify doesn't have a sales you didn't make dashboard. Your P&L doesn't have a line called revenue that never happened. A stockout is invisible by definition. It's an absence. The customer showed up, found nothing, left, no event, no record, no trace, which is exactly the season thesis. You're tracking revenue, the money that actually showed up, and you're not tracking the lost revenue, which is the money that knocked and walked away. The only one that tells you what your business could actually be doing. And a lot of DTC owners know this actually, but it's not something that they genuinely track. So why does it matter? This is a cause and effect chain because we missed some sales is the smallest part of what a stockout actually costs you. So just let me stack the layers. Layer 1 is the direct hit. The math from a minute ago, daily velocity times days dark times margin, painful, but honest. If it stopped there, a stockout would have been an expensive mistake. It didn't stop there. Layer 2, you paid to find out your ads didn't stop when your inventory did. If you're spending on Meta or Google and the product goes dark, you're now paying real money to drive people to a page where they cannot give you money. Best case, the ad set keeps burning while nobody's watching. Worst case, you didn't pause it for days, and that's not lost revenue anymore. That's cash out of the door for a negative return. Layer 3, the algorithms definitely notice, and this is the one that outlives the stockout. On Amazon, go out of stock and your ranking doesn't pause. It decays. You spend months climbing the search results page and the listing bleeds position every dark day. On Meta, your ad sets exit their learning phase and go cold. When you restock, you don't resume where you left off, you reclimb. Brands routinely take weeks to cover velocity after a bad stockout. So a 2-week stockout isn't a 2-week problem, it's a 2-week hole plus a 4-week ramp. So layer number 4, the customer doesn't wait. Here's the uncomfortable truth about your category. Whatever you sell, your customer had a need today and you were unavailable. Some will come back. Some just bought the other thing, and in the other thing was fine. You may have handed a competitor, a customer you paid good acquisition money to find, and their whole future lifetime value went with them. For a subscription or repeat purchase brand, Stockout doesn't cost you one reorder. It breaks a habit. And then we have layer 5. It bends your own behavior. This one's internal. Founders who got burned by a stockout swing to terror, and terrified founders overorder. And overordering is how you end up with the dead stock graveyard from a few episodes ago. So one measured stockout doesn't just cost you the 20 grand. It scares you into freezing another 50 in just in case inventory. The two metrics are a pair of ditches on either side of the same road, and you can't steer between them if you're only measuring one. So you add it up. The direct loss is the floor. Ad waste, ranking decay, recovery ramp, lost customers, and the panic ordering it triggers. The true cost of a bad stockout on a hero SKU is routinely 2 or 3 times the naive math, which is why we sold out. Great problem to have. And it's one of the most expensive sentences in e-commerce. Selling out isn't proof of demand. It's proof you got paid for less demand than you had. So how do you track it? 2 builds, one takes an afternoon and maybe one takes 10 minutes a week forever. So build 1, the backward look. Reconstruct your stockout history from the last 90 days. Hero SKUs first. Where does the data live? And then a few options. Easiest first. If you're on Shopify, your inventory history is there. Apps and reports can show you when on hand hits 0 per SKU. Your 3PL portal has the same thing, usually cleaner. And the scrappy fallback that always works is your own sales data. Pull daily units by SKU. Look for the flat line, a product that does 30, 40, 35, 0, 0, 0, 0. 40 didn't have a demand problem, and those 0 days, it had a shelf problem, and you need to mark every dark stretch. Then for each stretch, 3 columns. Days out, average daily units from the 2 healthy weeks before it went dark, margin per unit. Multiply across some of the column that number, your last 90 days, your last 90 days stockout cost. Go on a sticky note somewhere, you'll see it, and that's why we're doing this number. So build number 2, the forward look, and this is the habit. So you just need one tab that gets updated weekly. It just takes 10 minutes. Every SKU that matters, current on hand, average daily velocity, and the division, days of cover. On hand divided by daily velocity, and then 200 units, selling 10 a day. 20 days of cover, and then now line that up against your supplier's lead time, and there's the entire game in one sentence. The moment days of cover drops below lead time plus a buffer, you're already late. Not getting close late. If it takes 45 days to restock and you're at 38 days of cover, the stockout has already happened. It just hasn't arrived yet. So reorder points per SKU, lead time plus safety buffer. Start with 2 or 3 weeks and tune times daily velocity. On hand crosses that line. The PO goes out, not when we get to it, that week. 2 refinements as you get comfortable. First, velocity isn't flat. If you're about to run a promo or Q4 is coming, your daily average is a fiction. Scale it up before you trust the cover math. Yesterday's velocity is the floor of tomorrow's, not the ceiling. Second, track near misses. Every time cover dips under 10 days before the restock lands, note it. Near misses are stockouts you got lucky on, and a pattern of luck is a forecast of pain. Frequency, the cover sheet is weekly, same day every week, calendar it. The backwards look cost is calculated quarterly is fine. Once the forward system exists, because the whole point of the forward system is making the backward number boring. So what does good look like? Benchmarks. Growth stage DTC, 500K to 3 million. For your hero SKUs, the 20% of products going 80 of your revenue. And the target is an in-stock rate of 98% or better. There's no more than about 1 week of darkness per year. Per hero, and I want to be clear, this is not a stretch goal. Brands your size hit it all the time. It's planning standard, not a resources standard. It comes from the days of cover habit and not from a bigger warehouse. Mid-tier SKUs, 95% in stock. A few dark days, a quarter won't kill you. So we have long tail. Honestly, loser is fine. And sometimes a stock out on a marginal SKU is the business telling you something we discussed a few episodes ago. Not every product deserves a safety stock. On days of cover for heroes, healthy at this stage usually means never letting cover fall below your lead time plus 2 to 4 weeks. If your supplier takes 45 days, you should get twitchy at about 65 days of cover. Twitchy, not panicked. Twitchy places POs on time. And the pair of numbers to hold together, because this is the tension of the whole season so far. Heroes turning 8 to 12 times a year and in stock 98% of the time. That's the pocket. High turns with constant stockouts mean you're running too lean. You optimize last month's metric by bleeding this month's, basically. Perfect in stocks with 2 turns means you bought your availability with a mountain of frozen cash. The skill isn't maxing out either number, it's holding both. So one honest caveat, if you run drops or scarcity is genuinely your brand model, limited runs sell out on purpose is a totally different game. And these benchmarks aren't your law, but just be truthful with yourself about whether scarcity is your strategy or your excuse. One of those is chosen in advance. The other one is discovered in the spreadsheet. So let's talk about warning signs. Some of those will feel personal. So let's say red flag number 1, maybe this is a little bit common to a couple. We sold out and you definitely said it with a smile and no number attached. If nobody in the company can say that, what that sellout costs, you're not celebrating demand. You're celebrating an unmeasured loss. The confetti emoji is just the tell. Red flag number 2, you find out about stockouts from customers. A DM, a support ticket, hey, when is this back? If a human outside the company knows before your system does, you don't have a system. You have an audience. Red flag number 3, ads running to dead pages. Do this audit today. It takes like 5 minutes. Cross-check your active ad sets against your current stock. If you find even one ad pointing at an out-of-stock product, that's money on fire, like right now. And a sign nobody owns the connection between marketing and inventory. And that seam between departments, that's where 6-figure mistakes live. We have red flag number 4. Your restock chart looks like heartbeat. Big spike when out of stock lands, decay, and then flatline, spike, decay, flatline. And then that sawtooth is the picture of a brand permanently one step back behind its own demand. Every cycle repaying the recovery ramp we talked about forever. And then we have red flag number 5, reorders that are triggered by vibes. Feels like we're getting low. If the reorder decision lives in someone's peripheral vision instead of days of cover sheet, you'll be fine right up until the week. You're very much not, because vibes don't account for lead time. And lead time is the whole trap. And red flag number 6, every stockout has a story. The supplier was late. The shipment got stuck. The promo went better than expected. And of course, each one sounds like an explanation. Together, there's a pattern, a planning process with no buffer in it. Stockouts caused by surprises 3 times a year aren't surprises anymore. They're policy. So, a little bit of homework. I want 2 numbers by Friday. 1 is your hero in-stock rate over the last 90 days. Number 2, what's your worst stockout in that window? What does it actually cost? Velocity times dark days times margin, and then the first number will tell you if there's a problem. Second one will tell you if you care. So the days of cover template, reorder points built in, we could definitely give that to you. Just reach out to us. And honestly, this is a metric where the community earns it, because the benchmark is the point. What's the normal in-stock rate for a brand your size? And what buffer are people running against 45-day lead times? What actually happened in your Amazon rank after 2 dark weeks? And then real numbers from founders at your stage is going to be something that you want to benchmark against other DTC brands, right? Now, that's pretty much it for us and this episode of Stockout Rate and Cost. I know this couple of episodes are a little bit more technical, but bear with us. If you take the time to do a little bit of the number crunching, it's going to be way worth it. And yeah, if you guys need any additional help of figuring things out with your stockout rate and cost, so let us know at Move Supply Chain, and we'll be more than happy to help you. So, yep, that's pretty much it for me. Thank you so much, everyone.